One more thing I want to say about the shaman character. Oh, no, well, it wasn't as campy as I think again it wanted to be, so it just came off kind of obligatory. But also my biggest problem with this movie is that I didn't get a sense of tragedy from Will. I got the sense that here's a man whose life is actually pretty good. He turns into a werewolf and then it gets better. And there was not enough sense of tragedy from him for me to be invested in any sort of stakes or conflict or drama. And so it was just like it was 2 hours of a man's life just getting better, which runs counter to what they teach you in, story school.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great point. You're totally right. That's kind of one of my main criticisms of the movie too. Like going back to like the Dionysian thing, not to rely on that too much, but I think if like the movie had really went full speed ahead into that territory and like Will kind of became this like totally amoral, really destructive, violent, awful, evil creature, but seemed to really enjoy it. And like maybe his life did get better, like despite like his total amorality, it probably would have been a more interesting movie, you know?
Mhm.
But yeah, as it is, it kind of seems like it doesn't really know what it wants to say about his character.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have too. I think like the werewolf stuff is pretty campy. The makeup again, surprisingly, is kind of they just look sort of scruffy, and they have those contact lenses, and that's like all we get. So I put that in the campy category as well.
Oh, are we on the campy category?
Sorry, I moved ahead to the campy category.
Okay. My campy thing is I don't know if you noticed this, but Will gets bit by a werewolf at the beginning of the movie. And he's all bandaged. His hand has a bandage on it. The timeline of this movie is presumably a long time, and he never takes that bandage off his hand. He takes it off once to like inspect it, and it's fine, but he keeps it on the whole movie. And I found that really silly. Maybe like even the continuity checker in the script that didn't catch it. Like, wouldn't that be healed by now? He's a werewolf after all.
That is a good point. I mean, like there are how long is it between full moons? Like several weeks, right? Like a month or so?
A month, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, this movie is taking place along or across numerous months. It's a little ridiculous. Yeah. Maybe I was distracted by other plot holes, but I did not really think about that too much.
It was like drink every time you see his bandaged hand. Also, when the shaman says bite me, he wants to be bitten so he can live eternally. That again, such an oddball moment that the tone was just so off for that, but it was arguably very campy. Jack Nicholson being like, "What?"
The moon is rising. The passion is growing. The animal is out. Nicholson. Pfeiffer. Don't look so scared. Wolf. Rated R. At theaters June 7th.